Hello everyone. Today we are going to start the new chapter, second part, biodiversity and its conservation. What do you mean by biodiversity? So, before going to the topic, in this chapter, we are going to learn about the topics definition of biodiversity, levels of biodiversity, biogeographical classification of India, values of biodiversity. India is a mega biodiversity nation, hotspots of biodiversity, threats to biodiversity, endangered and endemic species of India, and the last topic is conservation of biodiversity. So, these are all the different topics which we are going to learn in this chapter, biodiversity and its conservation. So, what do you mean by biodiversity? Especially, bio means all of you may know that that is all related to life. Okay, diversity means variety, variation, difference. Okay, so biodiversity means variety of life, variation in the different forms of the life. Okay, so the definition of the biodiversity is like this: the variability among living organisms from all sources, including inter alia, terrestrial, marine, and other aquatic ecosystems, and the ecological complexes of which they are a part. Okay, so this is the definition of biodiversity. And coming to next part of the chapter is levels of biodiversity. Levels or types of biodiversity is both are same. Okay, so there are mainly three types of biodiversity are there. Okay, so first one is genetic diversity, second one is species diversity, and the third one is community or ecosystem diversity. Okay, so coming to genetic diversity. Genetic diversity means, see, the variation in the genetic material. Because of the variation in the genetic material, that is DNA material, within the same species, the difference will be occur. Okay, so like for example, if you see variation amongst the genes of the same species is called as genetic biodiversity. Okay, so here if you see as an example, like if you take rice varieties, all of you know about the rice. What is the scientific name of the rice? Coryza sativa. Okay, so maximum, so many people of the world, they will consume rice variety as a main part of food. Okay, so here the rice varieties are, rice is a one species, but in that rice also different types of rice will be there. Like for example, brown rice, basmati rice, okay, black rice, all the different types of rice will be there. Okay, and another example is if you take a fruit like banana. Banana is a single species, and because of the genetic variation, there are so many different types of bananas we can see around the world. Okay, some are like short ones, some are like long ones, color variation, taste variation, size variation. Okay, so this is the genetic diversity. Okay, variation in the genes. Okay, genetic material. And if you see another example like animals. Okay, so here we are taking uh, animal like a dog. Okay, so dog is a species, but in the same species of dog, various types of dogs will be there. Okay, so this is about the genetic biodiversity. And next one is species biodiversity. Species biodiversity means variation or variability found within the population of a species between different species of community. That means if you take an example, all animals. That means animals are different, but okay. So here the different types of animals. That means each and every animal is a single type of species. Okay, so these kind of species all come together under the category of animal kingdom. Okay, So it represents broadly the species, which means their abundance in a community. If you take a forest in the forest, we can find so many different types of animals. That means so many different types of species which are living in a community together. Okay, so the diversity which arises due to variation amongst the species present in a specific area is called as species diversity. Examples are so many examples are there. If you take a forest as an example, you find lions, tigers, leopards, um, rabbits, okay, zebras, giraffes, horses, donkeys, monkeys. Okay, so these are all the different types of species. Not only animals, even birds also comes under animal category. Okay, reptiles, birds, all these things. Okay, okay. The next one is ecosystem biodiversity. Ecosystem diversity means the variation in the ecosystem types. Okay, so that means if you take an example, in the whole world, we don't have a each like a equal type of ecosystem, same type of ecosystem everywhere. Okay, we don't find that. Some areas they'll have a thick forest region, some area they have a dry arid region, some in some areas we can find snow covered areas. Okay, some areas we cannot find the land over there. Okay, so this is the difference between ecosystem. Okay, different ecosystems. Okay, it refers to the diversity of habitats, including the different life forms within them. Okay, so this is the diversity of ecological complexity, showing variation in the ecological richness, structure, food webs, nutrient cycling, etc. So if the ecosystem is changing, whatever the system is maintaining in the ecosystem is also will get changes. If you take a forest ecosystem, complete food chain and food web will be maintained in that particular area. Whereas if you can see in the desert area, we cannot find complete food chain process there, because plants won't be there sufficient in that particular area. So the next level of organisms, they they won't depend on plants maximum. So they depend on directly other animals, on the other animals. Okay. So this is about the ecosystem biodiversity. Okay. So we'll continue in the next class.